Tonight, 2 women are charged with murder in yesterday's death investigation. A close call for a family in downtown Regina. And demanding answers in the death of a loved one in RCMP custody.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Police have now deemed a Regina death investigation a double homicide with 2 women facing murder charges. The investigation began around 4:30 Tuesday morning when police were called over reports to people being shot in the 1100 block of Elphinstone Street. Upon arrival, police found the bodies of a 42-year-old woman and a 37-year-old man outside a home. At the request of their families, their names are not being released. Police say a 19-year-old female suspect fled the scene and tried to hide from police at a nearby yard. She was taken into custody with help from the K-9 units, and during the arrest, the suspect was bitten by the dog and taken to hospital for treatment. Patricia Stevenson is now facing 2 counts of second-degree murder and a pair of firearm charges. She made her first court appearance on these charges this morning. A second person, 42-year-old Rose Sparvier, has also been handed the same charges Wednesday morning, and she appeared in court this afternoon. The investigation is ongoing. An incident in downtown Regina yesterday involving a suspended platform falling more than 10 stories, injuring 2 men, has also shaken a family that narrowly avoided the falling debris. David Drinkwater and Claire Johnstone, who are currently staying at the Hamilton, were on their way to the hospital to tend to their sick child, Teo, when the incident happened. Cameras in the family's car show Johnstone getting into the car mere seconds before debris comes crashing down right where she stood. Occupational Health and Safety had no further updates on the incident on Wednesday, and it is still under investigation. A rally in Kamsack is calling for answers into the death of Gerald Straightnose, who died in RCMP custody in June of last year. The case is under investigation by the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team. Sierra D'Souza Butts has more on how family members are grieving as they wait for answers.
Janice Straightnose says she will not stop speaking out until justice is served.
Very painful. It hurts. Not getting answers for my brother.
With more than a year passing since the death of Gerald Straightnose, she says her family wants answers, demanding for transparency from Saskatchewan RCMP.
I want to know exactly what happened in there, right from the beginning to the end. Gerald was a very kind, humble man. Yeah, he struggled in addictions, but it didn't mean he was violent or whatever. He was never like that.
Straightnose died less than 48 hours after being taken into custody at the Kamsack RCMP detachment on June 5, 2025. The 61-year-old was unresponsive in his cell where he was pronounced dead. As the death investigation continues by the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team, people from Kisakous First Nation and area are showing their support for Straightnose and his family.
Today signifies that his memory is still alive, his spirit is still strong within us. And we're not going to give up. I mean, we're going to go the distance on this. And the many others that are facing similar problems.
In an emailed statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Justice says the time it takes to complete a CERT investigation is based on a wide variety of factors, including the amount of evidence that needs to be reviewed, the number of witnesses, and other unique factors, including external reports that may differ from investigation to investigation.
That's the kind of answers I'm seeking. I want to know what happened to him from the moment he walked in till they took him out on that gurney.
The ministry says because the investigation is ongoing, it cannot provide any additional information at this time. Once the investigation is complete, it will be released publicly within 90 days. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Kamsack.
The Saskatchewan NDP held an open house in Moose Jaw last night about a proposed AI data center. It says the people attending wanted more transparency about the project. The government says speculation about projects they haven't approved and do not exist is neither productive nor informative. Wayne Mantika has more.
The NDP returned to the Legislative Building following a Moose Jaw Town Hall meeting about a proposed AI data center.
The people in Moose Jaw were loud and clear, and I hope Megan Patterson and Tim McLeod are willing to meet with them, talk to them, remember who they serve, and provide them some basic information.
The proposed $485 million AI data center would be built on the grounds of the former Valley View Center. Over 6,000 people have signed an online petition opposing the project because of its close proximity to a nature refuge.
People want answers. They deserve transparency from the government. So we're going to continue to ask questions, and hopefully this government will finally respond.
The provincial government has stated that it will not supply electricity to the data center, effectively killing the proposal in its current form. In a written statement, the province said the government has already confirmed that the proposed AI data center is not proceeding. There is no application before government, no approval being considered, and therefore no information to provide. The provincial government has not said that there can never be a data center in Moose Jaw. It could be built in a different location. The NDP would be open to considering that, provided there was consultation and community support. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Sabine joins us now for our first look at weather, and we're getting closer and closer to that extremely rainy Friday. Not there yet, though.
No, well, I mean, we saw some scattered showers in parts of the province today, Lee, but temperatures still stayed close to what our average daytime high is. So may not have felt that way. We had cloudier conditions, and even more darker clouds are starting to roll in, especially in the southwest from Alberta. We're starting to see some of that rain arrive. But temperature-wise, we warmed up to about 22, 23 degrees. Today, the average, of course, being about 26. Much cooler for the lows, though, and that is also something that'll continue as we head into tonight and approach Friday. Even cooler temperatures expected. Now, not anything drastic. It'll be the high teens, but still much cooler than what we've been experiencing over the last little while. You can see on the radar satellite, we have seen a little bit of that scattered precipitation, mostly in the south, just along the southern border there. And that's just the beginning, because as we head into tomorrow, more of that rain expected from the southwest and then continuing to south central and southeastern Saskatchewan by Friday. I'll have more details on that. Current temperature is still sitting quite nice, close to 20 degrees for Regina, 20 in Moose Jaw, 21 in Saskatoon, a little cooler over in East End Cypress at 14 degrees. But like I said, a cool down is coming, but right after that, there's another warm up on the way, and I'll talk about that in your forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. Now, a series of severe storms has caused significant damage across the province this summer. As CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, the cost of that damage is adding up with a record amount of insurance claims being recorded.
From tornadoes tearing through rural areas to flooding washing out roads and strong winds downing trees and power lines. Severe weather has left a trail of damage across Saskatchewan this summer. One Saskatoon contractor has been busy cleaning up the aftermath, with an uptick in storm-related calls, especially around Prince Albert.
We had an increase in storms early spring, the melt-off, high melt-off, and then a big storm surge that they had in June that had a lot of claims come in that region.
The rising demand for storm repairs comes as insured losses from severe weather continue to climb, according to the Insurance Bureau of Canada.
This is part of an increasing trend of losses in the prairies in Manitoba and Saskatchewan specifically.
The Insurance Bureau says storms on June 9th and 10th, including this tornado in the Oxbow area, caused $840 million in insured losses in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. The organization says that's more than all of the insured losses in the two provinces in 2025, when storms and wildfires caused about $760 million in insured damage.
This event in June does represent a significant increase for the year. Given that we're still only 8 months into the year, there is still time for other events as well, unfortunately.
Even if you're not directly affected by these storms, the Insurance Bureau says the increase in losses can put pressure on insurance premiums. It's calling for immediate action to help reduce the impact of future storms.
All orders of government really do need to take this problem seriously and to start investing and taking immediate steps to reduce Canadians' exposure to these extreme weather events.
The organization says the goal is to help communities better prepare and withstand extreme weather. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Prince Albert Police, the Prince Albert Crown Council, and the family of Peyton Flett are renewing calls for her disappearance. Now, 14-year-old Peyton Flett was reported missing June 30th. Police believe she was last seen between June 16th and 17th near John Diefenbaker School and later in the area of Marquee Road and Central Avenue. Now, she's described as about 5'4" and 115 pounds, last seen wearing Christmas pajama pants. Her family are asking anyone with information to come forward, even if it may seem insignificant.
In 7 days, on August 19th, Peyton will be turning 15 years old. She should be at home with us celebrating her birthday.
Anyone with information can reach out to police, the Prince Albert Grand Council, or Crime Stoppers. Plans have been delayed for an outdoor event and gathering place in downtown Regina. It was to have been operational this summer on the site of several demolished buildings, though, bordering the Fiaco Plaza on 12th Avenue there. But an additional building has since been demolished since plans were first drawn up, so more time is needed to adjust.
You know, some of the changes to the site, in particular the demolition of the building that was on this portion of the space, the former Credit Concierge building, that impacted the plans and forced us to kind of wait it out a little bit more.
$1.5 million project is funded by the federal government, the City of Regina, and Harvard Developments. Further details about the latest plan are expected to be released next week. There are just a few weeks left of summer break. Soon, students will be making their way back to the classroom. Now, there are a number of programs that make sure everyone has the tools and supplies needed for a successful school year. But as Mick Fable tells us, one of those programs needs the community to help out.
A section of 5th Avenue is closed off for a party celebrating the end of summer and the start of a new school year. It's a time to get a face painting, stop by the barbecue for a bite, and head inside to grab a backpack of supplies.
Things are tough out there right now, and it takes a community and a village of people to come together and really support families, right? Help our neighbors out and make sure that everyone has an equal chance to start school with confidence and be supported.
This is the 6th year the center has supplied backpacks for students. This year they have 550 on hand, well over 100 more than the year before. Jan Thompson from Alliance Energy says the packages will help the students succeed.
They get to feel like everybody else feels, and they get to feel proud to walk into school and start their new year with new supplies, and that's what we want for these children. We want the best. We want them to succeed.
Another backpack supply program in Regina is getting ready for its annual giveaways and is looking for the public's support. The Salvation Army is asking for donations for the hundreds of backpacks they are putting together for this coming school year.
It starts at making sure that the children walk into school with the confidence that they need to succeed, because those are the building stones to their future. And if we can be just a small portion of that.
This is the 15th year for the backpack program with a growing demand. This year they moved the cap to 1,300, 100 more than the year before. Fraser says families they speak to are making difficult decisions, including choosing between supplies or putting food on the table.
If we can supply, a backpack full of supplies to those children and to those families, just to make sure that that's one pressure off of their plate, then it's an honor to be able to do so.
Donations for the backpack program can be made through the Salvation Army website or in person at their 13th Avenue location. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is looking for people to participate in what they say is the largest health research project in the province. The Healthy Future SASC project needs participants. It'll study cancer and chronic diseases with the goal of better prevention and care for future generations. One focus includes why some people develop disease and others do not. Adults between the ages of 30 and 84 with a Saskatchewan health card can join by completing an online questionnaire and optional in-person clinic visit. Enrollment ends next March.
Still ahead, the firefight continues in BC as crews try to limit the damage. And people in Atlantic Canada had the best view in our nation of today's partial eclipse.
There was a brief reprieve today in BC for crews battling a blaze that is keeping 20,000 people from their homes. But that firefight in the Okanagan region has not diminished. Help continues to arrive. Saskatchewan has sent 2,000 lengths of half-inch fire hose to help crews in BC. Andrew Johnson has the latest.
Shifting winds have blown the smoke from the massive Summerland fire over to the southwest, for the most part bypassing Penticton and giving people warned to stay indoors or wear masks for days, a breath of somewhat fresh air.
That's why my dog got out for a walk today.
I haven't been out walking much, but today I thought, okay, good time to go.
Today, the BC Wildfire Service says increased cloud cover will help fire crews, but there is the potential for lightning in the forecast. Some 20,000 people remain out of their homes in and around Summerland, where multiple homes have been lost. Today, we're learning about another impact here in wine country. Exposure to wildfire smoke can alter the taste of wine produced from affected grapes. One evacuated grower says it's simply too early to tell. The immediate concern is getting access to the property to water the vines.
If I don't have living plants, I don't have a crop. The longer I don't get access to my property, that is where I'm going to worry. And I'll deal with the smoke taint down the road.
Industry officials say with tasting rooms closed and staff temporarily out of work, it's a tough time.
If you want to help our industry right now, the best thing you can do is pick up a bottle of BC wine for dinner tonight or to celebrate with your friends. Buy something from the Summerland region to show them that support.
Besides the smoke, there's also the issue of all this ash. It's coating Okanagan Lake and washing up on shore. The city tells us it's waiting on test results to determine if people should stay out of the water. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Penticton, BC.
Well, military firefighters in Spain are battling blazes in the northern part of that country. One wildfire has forced the evacuation of about 170 people and burnt 3,600 hectares so far. Meanwhile, in the southwest, crews are fighting a blaze that is expected to last several days. More than 600 people have fled their homes. A number of regions are under extreme heat alert. Temperatures were set to rise to about 40 degrees in part of the country today, with a high or very high wildfire risk. Well, 4 members of the 2018 Canada World Junior Hockey team who were acquitted last year of sexual assault will remain suspended by Hockey Canada. An independent appeal board ruled players Cal Foote, Carter Hart, Dylan Dubé and Michael McLeod breached the Hockey Canada Code of Conduct. A 5th player who was also acquitted, Alex Formenton, has been reinstated. The suspended players cannot participate in Hockey Canada sanctioned programs. Well, we are still about 13 years away from the next total solar eclipse that you'd be able to see in Canada. But today, a partial eclipse had some people looking up at the sky. Special glasses, of course. Don't do it if you don't have glasses. Maria Sorrell has more from Prince Edward Island, which was actually one of the best places to see the partial eclipse in Canada.
For a little over 2 hours, some islanders had their eyes on the sky. The moon started moving across the sun just before 2 p.m. local time, eventually covering about 35% of it here in PEI.
I want to be an astronaut when I grow up, so I really like anything to do with space. The solar eclipse is very cool.
It didn't get dark because this was only a partial eclipse, but for people gathered to watch, even that was enough to draw a crowd.
It looks like something took a big bite of it.
Anytime you see any sort of celestial phenomenon, it's like this otherworldly feeling.
Across the Atlantic Ocean, parts of Europe experienced a total eclipse.
You're in the moon's shadow, right? Because the sun is shining on the other side of it. And if you're in the total eclipse, you're in the darkest part of the shadow.
Another partial eclipse is coming to eastern Canada in 2027, but the next total eclipse won't be until 2044. Maria Through, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Still ahead, setting up for the city of Yorkton's first ever music festival.
A community group is hoping to bring people together. Thursday on Your Morning, we're getting a look at what you can expect from this year's Praise in the Park event.
All right, welcome back. it may not, you can't tell, but there are some light rain showers in Regina right now, and temperatures are starting to cool down, currently sitting at 17, winds just under 15 kilometers an hour, and this is just the start of the rain. Like I said, we've got more rain on the way, continuing for parts of the southwest. We're starting to see that rain coming in from Alberta, and we'll continue to see this rain sticking around until Friday. And then by the time we get into the weekend, we'll start to see more sunshine and those temperatures warming back up. But for now, the next day or two is going to feel a little gloomy and cool. So overnight tonight, we will see most of that rain clear out for most of the province. But it's not until we start your day tomorrow we see that system coming in from Alberta first thing in the morning. And it won't be until later in the afternoon that we could possibly see some of that storm activity coming through parts of the southwest. Now, earlier the models were tracking to be more so heading further into the north, but this is just heading northeast. So we'll see it make its way through Maple Creek, Swift Current into the Saskatoon, PA and Wynyard area. As that system continues, we have this system coming in from the north. Now, again, originally this system looked like it was largely going to be tracking further into Saskatchewan, but now it's heading more so again northeast, more of it into Manitoba, but we're still going to see quite a bit of rain coming through parts of southern Saskatchewan in particular. For most of Friday, that rain is expected to continue to stick around into the overnight, even for parts of the province, or parts of the south, I should say. And then by the time we get into Saturday, we'll be seeing more of a mix of sun and cloud conditions. So between now and tomorrow morning, not really expecting to see much. It's not until later in the morning when we start to see that system coming in from the west. So you can see over 10 millimeters for the Swift Current Maple Creek area, close to 10 for Moose Jaw by Friday morning. Saskatoon seeing close to 30, up to 14 millimeters for the Regina, and Weyburn up to 15, over 20 for Estevan. So many parts of the south expecting rain over the next day or two, and that rain will continue throughout Friday. You can see by the Saturday morning, close to 30 millimeters expected for Yorkton, close to 40 for Estevan. So a very rainy start to the weekend, but as we get into Saturday, we'll start to see the temperatures warming back up into the 20s and more of that sunshine arriving and less rain. Tomorrow, though, we'll start to see the cool down of some of these temperatures. 19 for La Loche, 17 for Lloydminster, 20 for Prince Albert, and 21 for La Ronge over down into the Saskatoon area. 21 in rain, 19 cloudy for North Battleford, 22 and mostly cloudy for Yorkton. And much cooler for the southwest as that rain enters. 16 in rain for Maple Creek, 18 in rain for Swift Current, 22 and cloudy for Moose Jaw over in the southeast, 22 and light rain for Estevan, 22 and mostly cloudy for Weyburn, and Assiniboia 19 and rain. For Regina tomorrow, warming to 21 degrees, mostly cloudy, could see some scatter showers just like we've seen today as we're seeing right now. 10 is the low tonight, so a cooler low, and that is also expected to continue over the next day or so. Saturday is looking like a cool low as well at 9. But tomorrow, 21, mostly cloudy, rain throughout the day. Friday, 19 is the expected high, warming to 21, mostly cloudy on Saturday, and then we'll see the sun reappear on Sunday. 24 is the expected daytime high, and then we're back into seasonal range, hovering around within a couple degrees, but sunny on Sunday, 22, and a mix of sun and cloud Monday. By Tuesday, mainly sunny, 23 degrees, and then by Wednesday, mostly cloudy and 22 degrees. So we've got a chilly day or two ahead, gloomy looking with the clouds and some of that rain, but as we head into the weekend and start next week, we're back into those temperatures closer to that daytime average, Lee.
I guess maybe we're going to see more rain for the southeast Parkland region, but Regina definitely not going to receive as much rain as we were thinking a couple days ago.
That's right, just because of the way that one system that's coming in from the south is tracking more so towards Manitoba, but we also have that rain coming in from Alberta, so it'll be meeting in Saskatchewan, but not as heavy as we were first expecting it for Regina.
Okay, maybe not good news for the music festival in Yorkton if it's going to rain a fair amount in Friday, but they'll get through it. Thank you, Sabine.
You bet.
Yes, last weekend, Regina held its first ever Exchange Folk Festival. Now it is festival season officially. It has arrived in the city of Yorkton. The first trucks have rolled into the Gallagher Centre exhibition grounds, so yeah, admittedly, doesn't look much right now, but the stage and tent should be all set up by tomorrow evening, ready to welcome the city's first music festival, Living Skies. The two-day event starts on Friday with a celebration of country music, followed by a Saturday of rock.
And it's a big, big event that brings people from all over the province and all over our region together to Yorkton to celebrate summer and listen to some live music and have a great time.
Now, the mayor is asking festival goers to keep an eye on the event's social media pages for news and any updates, especially considering what the weather might be on the 2 days for the festival.
Still ahead, could we see a change in kicker this week for the Riders?
Well, a lot of Rider fans have been wondering when this might happen. A week after signing Canadian kicker Dawson Hodge, the Riders might be giving the rookie out of Wilfrid Laurier a shot this week. Now, we don't want to be footage of it because you can't record during practice, but Hodge took the vast majority of kicks today, including splitting the uprights on a 57-yarder. However, head coach Corey May says the decision at kicker has yet to be made.
We put Dawson through the ringer like we did with the kickers in camp. You know, he never had a chance to do that. So put him through the ringer today, a little pressure cooker situation. But, yeah, well, like anything else, we'll make a decision at the end of the week.
How did he look today?
Hey, he looked pretty good.
It'd be special. I've been waiting for an opportunity to do that. I've had a few preseasons now to get ready. So I feel like I'm ready to go, and we'll see what happens. And, yeah, I'm excited.
I think he's going to play. We'll see. Alex Hale, 14 for 19 on the season. His longest kick, 48 yards. He did go 2 for 2 last week against the Red Blacks, but those were rather close field goals. If Hodge does start, it would be the first regular season appearance of his career. Well, quarterback Trevor Harris has already cemented his place in Rider history, helping the team win its 5th Grey Cup title. Now, this season, the 40-year-old became just the 12th quarterback in CFL history to break 40,000 career passing yards, doing so in Friday's game against Ottawa. Donovan Mace takes us all the way through his career from Harris's first CFL completion to yard 40,000 and beyond.
14 years and 40,000 yards ago,
the best looking young quarterback the Argos had brought in a long time.
Trevor Harris stepped onto the field against the Saskatchewan Roughriders for the first time in his CFL career.
Harris off to the right, caught underneath, turning it up. Good yardage and a first down.
And with this completion to Deshaun Mims Friday night, Harris becoming just the 12th quarterback to throw for more than 40,000 yards in the Canadian Football League.
I'm really thankful that I get to do this, and to join the 40K club's pretty cool. I think it just means maybe I'm getting a little older, though.
I had no idea until the end of the game. My friends said they're going to make it into a trivia question about who caught Trevor's 40,000-yard pass.
From Toronto to Ottawa.
That puts Trevor Harris over 5,000 yards passing for the season.
Edmonton and Montreal before landing in Saskatchewan. Harris has played 197 regular season games in the CFL, winning his first Grey Cup as a starter and earning game MVP honors last season at 39 years old.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm just getting started.
Now 40. He continues to climb the CFL's passing leaders list, less than 200 yards from passing Hall of Famer Tracy Ham for 11th all-time.
All the ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and to be able to do that on a professional level is something that just blows my mind. But again, I just try and stay focused on the small things.
Only 12 people in the history have thrown for 40,000 yards. In true Trevor fashion, he took that football and was looking to give away Offensive Player of the Game ball. I said, no, buddy, that's your ball. You pick another one to give to somebody else.
I'm really thankful that I get to be the quarterback of this organization. I never, ever take it for granted.
Now, in addition to reaching 40,000, Harris is on the brink of climbing up the Riders' all-time passing list. He has 11,742 passing yards in 4 seasons in green and white and needs just 110 to pass Tom Burgess for 5th all-time in Saskatchewan Rough Rider history. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
And welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. Riders taking on the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Steeltown this week. And Wes, a lot of the talk, of course, has been Hamilton, their play going downhill since Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt. They're going to be facing Mr. Frost at quarterback once again. Didn't look too bad against BC, but, I mean, they didn't have no running attack. It was all on his shoulders, basically.
Yeah, everybody's kind of getting a crack over in Hamilton. Bo Levi went down. You know, we saw Trey Ford. He was looking okay. Then he kind of started doing too much, and they throw Harrison Frost in there, and he looked terrible in relief of Trey. But last week he looked okay. I wasn't too impressed, though. He was doing better at protecting the football. He did have one interception, but they really didn't move the ball well. Basically, Kenny Lawler got some looks. He kind of tried to get the ball to all his receivers, but they really didn't do much outside of a couple of decent plays. And then they didn't even have their run game going. So until their offense can really get to chugging along and actually look threatening, maybe have some bigger plays, I'm not too worried about what they're going to do. And then defensive-wise, I think the Riders have shown no matter who lines up at receiver, as long as that O-line is back there, you know, protecting our guy, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, when Dolagala started for the Hamilton Tiger Cats at Mosaic Stadium when the Riders beat them pretty handily, yeah, they could not throw the ball against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And I just think that this defense, they're kind of showing a little bit more. I know it was Ottawa last week. A lot of people see them as the worst, if not, they haven't won a game, they're the worst. But they look good. They were able to make the stops when they needed to be and finally got that interception from their secondary.
Yeah, for sure. And I think sometimes when you have injuries and you have guys moving around, it actually levels up everybody's kind of focus and just understanding of the defense or the offense, because, okay, now we got guys moving around, so guys are being forced to play different positions, but they also already understand the position they were playing. Then you're a little less anxious about getting in because you're like, well, I'm going to get a chance because it seems like everybody's getting a chance. So I think even though there's been some hurdles and some bumps and bruises that have gone along with that, it's helped the secondary and helped the Riders defense. So I think the fact that guys have had to move around and adjust is making everybody just a little more aware of what everybody's role is. And then that's helping the defense gel and make more plays. So I'm excited about that. And Trevor Harris seems to find a way to get to 350, 400 yards every time he's out there. So, yeah, as long as they keep sprinkling in some run, you know, where they can, I feel like this Riders offense is going to put up enough points to kind of protect the defense as well.
This was the defense, though, that really gave Harris trouble. He only got just over 200 yards passing against the Hamilton Tigers here at Mosaic Stadium. So what do you feel they need to do? They obviously showed that their receivers that are filled in for guys like Schaefer, Baker, and Emelis can do the job, but what do you need to see from them here on the road?
Well, I mean, Tomas Bertrand Houdon did come in and was really efficient, as he always is. So I think more of him and Conley just to, you know, maybe have Hamilton worry about that, maybe bring some guys down into the box just to make it a little easier for Trevor Harris and these receivers. And then we did see some no huddle with Trevor and those young receivers, which I think when you can just call simple plays and get the ball to guys and not have them thinking in the huddle, too worried about what their route combinations are, I think that helps the young receivers. So as the receivers get healthy and the young ones get more acclimated to being in there, I think that the offense is just going to get better and better every week. And I think more of Trevor's not doing much against Hamilton last time was just because it was earlier in the season, just trying to get your land legs under you, so to speak. So I think they'll be fine. I think he's excited and determined to kind of put his stamp on this season and keep putting up big numbers.
Well, if they win this game, they'll be 7-2, and Ottawa and Hamilton, probably considered the two worst teams in the league right now, they'll be done with them in a schedule. So it would be nice to be sitting at 7-2. We'll see what they do and get you prepped for the next game on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's, brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
WCBL playoffs, the Moose Jaw Miller Express face elimination tonight in Game 2 of the East Division Final in Saskatoon after falling in the series opener at home at Roswell's Park last night.
This one hit on the ground to third. Rago can't field it. Gets over the head of Thomas Soto.
The Saskatoon Berries took advantage of that error to eventually score 4 runs in the 4th inning. They took a commanding 7-0 lead. Moose Jaw would try to fight back. They scored 3 in the 6th inning, 2 runs off of a Garland Plummer home run, but it would not be enough. Saskatoon wins 7-4. They can advance to the franchise's first ever WCBL final tonight if they win at home. First pitch is just after 7 at Cairns Field. Sylvan Lake, by the way, beat Okotoks in the opener of the West Final. Well, much of the top talent in boys golf have made their way to the Queen City to compete in a high-profile tournament put on by Golf Canada. Damian Smith has more.
Some of the best young golfers in Canada are getting into the swing of things at the Wascana Country Club, this year's host course of the Canadian Junior Boys Championship.
These kids have aspirations and dreams to play at a higher level, whether that's at college or, some sort of professional, and this is their starting point for doing that.
Ottawa's Chase Jerome is one of those athletes playing on the Regina course for the first time.
It's a pretty simple golf course. The greens are really good, so that's nice. The greens are really good and fast. I've seen greens like that before, but it's always fun to play on good greens.
Jerome has played the sport since he was 8 years old, discovering his talent at an early age.
Kind of young, I was just winning a lot of the local events and moved up to provincial, won there, and then just kind of all over Canada and U.S.
At 17 years of age, Jerome is one of the youngest golfers in the field, an experience he hopes to use down the road.
When you're young, you kind of want to play as much as you can and get just kind of reps in tournaments and understanding what it's like to play in tournaments and how it's different than a regular round.
For the Wascana Country Club, it's their first time hosting a national tournament since 2018. That tournament was a historic one where Canadian golfer Brooke Henderson won the CP Women's Open, being the first Canadian to win on home soil since 1973.
Brooke Henderson finished the game right over here. I was standing at the 150-yard line with my husband and one of the other co-chairs, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal to have a Canadian win here in Regina.
Of the 156 athletes competing, 12 of them are from Saskatchewan, and several are expected to make the weekend cut, including Swift Current's Maddie Schmeiz at 1 over par. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, a Saskatchewan man has been charged with fraudulent cattle brands.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast tomorrow. Some areas starting to really cool down, getting the cloud cover rolling in and some of that rain, especially in western Saskatchewan. 17 degrees for Spiritwood, Lloydminster, Meadow Lake, 19 for Kindersley, 20 and a mix of sun and cloud for Melfort, 21 in rain for Watrous, and Outlook and Wynyard, 21 and mix of sun and cloud, in Hudson Bay, 22 degrees. When we get closer to the southern border, depending on where we are, it's going to get really chilly. 13 for East End Cypress and rain, and 16 for Maple Creek, 17 in rain for Leader, 18 in rain for Rockland, 19 in rain for Assiniboia, 21 in rain for Rosetown, Coronach, 20 and some scattered showers, 21 mostly cloudy for Lumsden and Pilot Butte and Carlisle, and 22 for Kenora and Broadview. A closer look at St. Walburg, located about 90 kilometers northeast of Lloydminster, so right in the thick of the rain tomorrow and Friday. So tomorrow 16 degrees, expecting to see up to about 10 millimeters of rain tomorrow, and then by Friday dropping to about 14-15 degrees is your daytime high, and expecting another 5 millimeters of rain.
A recent discovery of metal signs dug up near the Besborough Hotel in Saskatoon, shining a spotlight on the history of the city's river valley. The Meewasin Valley Authority says about 100 metal signs were unearthed in July while they were doing trail enhancements. It joins other discoveries like bison skulls, more than 2,000 years old, and the anchor of a ship that capsized all the way back in the early 1900s. Now, this part of the river valley was once used as a dumping area.
Apparently there's still more in the ground. We just didn't bring them up when we were trenching, and we just had them in a pile at our staging area for construction, and a lot of people were walking by and noticed them and were interested to know more about them.
Now, if you're wondering about the signs, he says a similar sign at an antique dealer in Edmonton, while in much better condition, was selling for about $400. Well, a man from the Moosomin area has been criminally charged over allegedly altering cattle brands. RCMP say 197 head of cattle were inspected during an investigation that began last month. Police found an altered brand was applied over top of the original on 99 head of cattle, while the other 98 were fraudulently branded with a new brand. A 52-year-old man from the arm of Martin faces 1 count of altering a cattle brand and 1 count of fraud over $5,000. He'll appear in court next month. Let's stick with farm news, at least in the canola street price. It's up $8.30. It's sitting at $742.45 per ton, while the futures price, it dropped big yesterday and it goes up big today, up $13.40 to $794.40 per ton. Amber Durum wheat, $272.48 per ton. Red spring wheat, a big drop. It's down more than $10 to $276.33 per ton. Feed barley, $203.59 per ton, and flax, no movement. It is currently sitting at $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and ICE Futures Canada. As for the stock markets, different directions again. The TSX up 186 points. The Dow Jones slightly dropped by 21 points. The Canadian dollar, it went up 1/10 cent. It's now at 71.72 cents US. As for the commodities, gold down $1.17. West Texas Intermediate crude up 7 cents, and Western Canadian Select crude was down 8 cents. And gas in Regina gone slow enough you can't hear the music anymore. There we go. Gotta kick it up again. Can't tell you the gas without the music. Currently sitting at $1.62.9 cents per liter.
Shares were cruising comfortably above a 10% gain for most of the day after reporting Q2 earnings and confirming a partial sale of its loyalty program. The airline now confirming it will be selling a 25% stake in Aeroplan to Blackstone and a trio of Canadian pension funds for $2.5 billion. Air Canada says it will maintain full control of the travel reward program's day-to-day operations. Meanwhile, Air Canada also reported revenue and profit that beat expectations in the latest quarter, but it lowered its outlook for the year due to soaring jet fuel prices. And OPEC has lowered its forecast for global oil demand growth once again. The oil cartel says for 2026, it now expects oil demand to grow by 580,000 barrels a day. The move marks the 4th straight downward revision. It says it continues to see a smaller impact on consumption since the beginning of the Iran war. On the plus side, though, OPEC raised its forecast for global oil demand next year. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, Master Chef. Then we've got The Borderline at 8 o'clock, The Rainmaker at 9 o'clock, The Big Bang Theory, and then The E-Talk.
You deliver that so well.
The partial eclipse isn't the only event that had people looking skyward today.
That's right. The Perseid meteor shower will hit its peak. Actually, it hits its peak after midnight tonight. A few Saskatchewan parks are recognized as dark sky preserves and would be an ideal location to watch the celestial show. Cypress Hills Interprovincial Park might be cloudy and rainy, but Grasslands National Park is also the other one. The streaks of light caused by the stellar debris entering Earth's atmosphere should be visible to the naked eye in areas where cloud cover doesn't get in the way.
You gonna stay up to that?
After midnight? No. Wow, but it's pretty.
It is. Worth staying up till then? No.
We'll catch the video tomorrow.
Yeah.
A close call for a pair of South Dakota state troopers, not from a vehicle, but a lightning bolt.
Was that purple shirt?
According to the South Dakota Highway Patrol, 2 troopers heading out on a foot search for a suspect when a lightning bolt struck a short distance from them. Neither of the officers was hurt. I'm going to read slow so we can see the replay of right there.
Oh.
Video of the incident captured here on a body
As if they didn't feel the ground move, though. Does the ground move when... We don't know.
The ground moved.
I hate you.